on this planet just to take up space or pursue our own goals. You and I have an assignment by God that's within his overall plan. Now, God's plan for Paul was to use Christianity's worst enemy to be his advocate. This was the most unlikely candidate. Can you imagine right now, do you not often sometimes feel like the unlikely candidate to be used by God? You know, we read through the Bible how he uses leaders so beautifully, and we think to ourselves, I'm just a woman that goes grocery shopping and I change diapers, or, I might attend the office, but the truth is my life is just sort of this endless array of routine. What could God use me for in his grand scheme of life? But Christ made it so clear to us on his last commandment before he was raised up into the heavens for everyone when he says, go and make disciples of all the nations and teach them to obey everything I've commanded you. This is the purpose. This was the purpose for no matter who you are, where you live, what stage of life you're in. This is what God has put out there for all of us. No Christian is called by God to stay the same, and yet so many do. And many of them want you to stay the same too. There's sort of this underlying pressure sometimes to, not make waves, blend in, don't offend anyone. But the truth is when the Holy Spirit is at work in us, we are called to be salt and light, to make a difference, to stand up for truth, and to act boldly for the cause of Christ. And when you think about it, that's what happened with the disciples, right? Before the Holy Spirit came upon them, they were just a band of timid little followers, and then the Holy Spirit came, and they were bold ambassadors for Christ. And that's exactly what happened to Paul. You and I are called to be evangelists, just like Paul. But what's happened is sometimes we fall short of our calling. This idea of being an evangelist kind of makes us feel a little uncomfortable. We don't want to come on too strong. And we worry about what people think of us when we need to be more worried about what people think of God. And you know what? We're just not going to always win over everybody. Even Billy Graham discovered this. Billy Graham shares a story when he went to a small town, and he saw a young boy, and Reverend Graham needed to mail a letter. So he went up to the young boy and he says, "Could you tell me how to get to the post office?" And the young boy told him, and then Reverend Graham said, "Well, why don't you come to the local Baptist church tonight? Because I'm going to be telling people how to get to heaven." And the little boy shook his head. He goes, "Nah, you don't even know how to get to the post office." So we're not going to win over everybody every time. But our mission is to know God and to make him known. And the more we know him, the more we want others to know him too, right?